Ele é o cachorro louco da literatura americana, um dos meus preferidos. Eu vou conversar com o extraordinário James Ellroy. Please. So you're in Brazil for in Portuguese it's called sangue errante.
Yes.
Actually, it's quite a good translation of Blood's a Rover.
Blood's a Rover is a quote from the British poet A.E. Housman. And on top of everything else, Record, my Portuguese language publisher,
Yes, I know
puts
that.
out the most beautiful editions
It
in
is.
all my foreign editions.
That's
Look
right.
at that.
Look, and you know, everybody here at my staff, you have a lot of fans here. You know, they all love you. They read you and reread you, and everybody was looking forward to this book now. And it's your first time you come to Brazil to do something like that.
It is, yeah. It's my first visit here.
And in the States, how important is it to make the tours, the book tours in TV?
You must go out bookstore to bookstore. You must sign entire print runs, 50,000 copies
That's nice.
of your books.
Yeah, the hand gets
yes,
a little tired.
so that the books won't be returned to publishers.
All right.
You must do public access TV shows. You must do big TV shows. You must work like un perro loco.
Like a mad dog.
I'm sorry, I'm speaking Spanish.
No, that's all right. That's all right. And I was very honored to be with you on the same place on a Miami International Book Fair.
Yes.
I don't remember which book you were doing at that time, but I know we had a long talk, especially about films. I was talking about that one of the few adaptations of a book that I really liked was the L.A. Confidential.
I got lucky on that one, didn't I?
Yeah. Not in all of them.
No.
For instance, Black Dahlia.
There are some movies you want to see and some movies you want to flee. L.A. Confidential, arriba.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Black Dahlia, malo. Yeah.
no. But just between us, you told me something that day about Kevin Spacey that wasn't so nice. Because I said, he's a great actor. And you said, yeah, not that. Yeah, he's a great actor, but he's like that. He's not such a good person.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you confirm that?
Yeah, I confirm it. Never liked him. Never liked him. Didn't like him then. If he walked in and sat down here, I wouldn't like him now.
Oh.
Yeah. Guy Pearce, arriba. Kevin Spacey, malo.
But he did a good job, probably because of that. There is a very traumatic and tragic event in your life. It's the death of your mother, which was a violent thing, and unsolved until today.
My mother was murdered in June of 1958 when I was 10. It remains an unsolved crime. I wrote a book about it called My Dark Places, published in Brazil by, you guessed it, Record. And the book is my autobiography, my mother's biography, and we just did not find the man who killed my mother.
That's incredible. It's amazing. I mean, I think that many crimes remain unsolved.
If it's a stranger-on-stranger crime, if a man and woman did not know each other prior to their night of combustion, and this is the pre-DNA era, chances are you won't solve the crime.
Yeah, that's. You know, that inspires you in many books, in almost all of your books. For instance, the appeal that you had in writing The Black Dahlia, it's a little bit of that too, right?
It was unsolved. Yes, my mother, Jean Hilliker, The Black Dahlia, Elizabeth Short, as one in transmogrification. Yes. That's
a terrible thing, of course. And what drove you to write this book, the
Blood's a Rover, yeah. Sangre Errante. What drove me? I wanted to recreate 1968 to 1972 America. I wanted to go back and relive the time in my mind and in my soul.
But you also wrote in books of periods that you didn't actually see or live. I mean, like if you missed an era.
Yeah.
But it's very alive in your head and your books.
I lie in the dark like this, and I think, and I transpose myself to various historical periods.
I think that almost in all your books you have that fascination with the historical event, with the time.
It's like a benign form of megalomania. You get to go back to various historical times, commit horrible murders, hang out with horrible gangsters and corrupt politicians, and no one gets hurt.
Get away with it.
And get away with it,
It's the most important thing.
Yes, and they pay you. Yes.
Nothing better.
No, to get paid for what you love to do.
That's right. That's
Come on.
I always say,
Yeah.
It's the only way to do it.
Yes.
Right? You have to love it.
Yes.
And they pay you for it. So nothing's better.
And you wake up in the morning and you do not feel bad about your life.
Tell me something. What's your working method? Do you have a method, or are you lazy?
No.
Not at all?
No, I'm extremely industrious. The outline for that book is 400 pages. That is the diagram for creating the entire text. And I do not write the first word of the text until I have figured out each and every scene in the book.
The same thing. I started backwards. I started knowing how it ends.
Yes.
Otherwise, I can't start it.
Yes.
But when I say lazy, of course, Pascal was said to be a very lazy man.
Right.
And he wrote enormous, a fantastic work of art. But, I mean, to push him to write, it was difficult. But I think that you have a schedule of writing. Do you? Every day? How many hours a day do you write?
Well, for one thing, I'm divorced and I have to pay alimony. So my ex-wife gets a bit... She's like a pit bull. Biting
and very hungry.
And, she's very hungry. And so the check has to go out every month. And that's a good inducement. But I get up about 5 o'clock in the morning.
And you write for how many hours?
I write routinely 13 or 14 hours a day.
13 or 14? Wow.
Yeah.
But which writer do you identify yourself more with the most?
The Don DeLillo, American writer, that wrote a novel called Libra about the Kennedy assassination. Very much the inspiration for this novel...
I'm going to write it down. Can I? Because
Libra.
Libra, okay.
Is in the astrological sign. It inspired this book and the 2 books that preceded it.
And what about some underdogs in the American literature? I call them underdogs because American literature of that time was so rich that they don't talk much about writers like Horace McCoy and Dashiell Hammett, and they were great writers, weren't they?
Yeah, they talk about Hammett more than McCoy, but McCoy wrote
They
no
shoot
pockets
horses?
in a shroud. They shoot horses, don't they? He was a great, great writer.
Yeah. Well, I think that, and I say, and it was tough for them to be looked as a great writer because of the time they were.
Yes.
They were.
Yes.
The competition.
Yes.
Was amazing.
Yes. And they made $200 a book. Yeah.
Oh, that's it.
They all wrote in Hollywood. Yeah. Yeah.
$200.
That was a good
For-
advance then. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Not today.
No, not today. Not
No.
today. But they wrote at the same period that Scott Fitzgerald was writing, right?
Yes. Yes, they did.
So how long are you staying here in Brazil?
Until tomorrow morning.
Let me say it was not only a privilege, but an honor to have you on the show.
I will come
Thank
see
you.
you next year when I come back from my new book,
Okay.
published by the King
Okay.
of Publishers in Portuguese,
Uh-huh.
Record.
Record.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much.
A great, great pleasure.
Me
See you
too.
in Miami at the book fair.
Ok, thank you.
Okay.
James Ellroy, daqui a pouco a gente volta. Bravo!